Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to this video, well, the whole channel, the whole series, I'm removing a blown engine from my Z4 e89, and hopefully today is gonna be the day when we remove the engine. There were a few episodes, me disconnecting all the pipes, hoses, ancillaries, everything from the engine, and today the only thing that is left is the gearbox. I already broke a few bolts loose, so what we need to do is to prop the gearbox with a jack and yeah, try to attach the engine crane. I already have the crane ready. Little life hack, there is a mounting point on the engine. Let me show you. I'll actually show you on this engine, so, a little bit brighter. You can see there is a threaded hole right in here. So this is the front engine, this is the oil cooler or heat exchanger. Well, I think it's just an oil cooler, to be honest. This is the eye hook from a towing hook or towing eye from the E46. Why am I using the tow hook from the E46 and not E89? Quite simple. E89 has a bigger thread, so it's just not gonna fit in. I think you can get this one from eBay for like 10-15 quid if you're in the UK, maybe even cheaper if you're lucky. But as you can see, it fits in perfectly. I mean, all the wiring is in the way kind of, but that's not the point. The point is that this engine doesn't have any mounting points from the factory to pull out, so this is kind of by design. So you can see the front of the engine, the threaded hole is right by the oil filter, and as I said, the oil cooler, so it's quite easy to find. You thread it in all the way in, and this is gonna be our main mounting point for the engine crane. Yeah, so the plan is really simple. We need to undo the bonnet struts, simply because I don't think we'll have enough room, because the engine will tilt this way and we'll need to raise it up quite a bit. So I'm gonna remove the struts. Again, they're quite easy to remove. There's a little slot here. I don't know if you can see it, but you just put a screwdriver, a flat screwdriver under it, pull it, and it will pop right out. Relatively simple. So I'm just gonna mount the camera and we're gonna do it the stuff from here first, and then we'll go under the car and start undoing the gearbox. Okay, everything looks sturdy enough. Unfortunately, my ceiling is not high enough, so hopefully this is enough to pull the engine. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably I will have to drop the car a little bit because it's on the jack stands. But it will be difficult to maneuver out of the gearbox, so I hope that you can see. I think there's about an inch gap between the bonnet and the ceiling, so we don't have much room to, well, do anything. Anyways, I'm gonna dive under the car and just start undoing the gearbox. I'll show you all the bolts. The pattern, I mean, it's a lot easier on this engine. You can tell that there are quite a few bolts. One here, 2, 3, 4, 5 down there, 6, 7, potentially 8, but I think this is the starter bolt, and as far as I know we can keep the starter attached to the engine, so maybe we'll need to remove that bolt, but we'll see. We'll figure out in a second. Well, we have everything ready to go. I've removed the engine mount bolts. They're 13 mil. These funky looking bolts. Yeah, surprisingly, they weren't even that tight. Disconnected pretty much everything, unbolted the gearbox. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If I did, it's gonna be, well, yeah, it's gonna be a struggle, but fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed it will just come right out. I still need to, well, readjust the bonnet. I hope that I don't have to remove it, because I don't think I will be able to do it by myself. It's really heavy, but I think we can try and see how it goes. Remember in the beginning I said there is only one mounting point on the engine, which is right here, where you can put the tow hook from an E46. Not 100% correct. There is another loop. Yeah, the guys who pulled this engine, they used this mounting point. I guess just this mounting point. Yeah, you can actually put something like a bolt or a hook or something to level the engine a little bit. That's what I did on that side. I have a engine leveler, which is honestly quite handy. And I attached one of the chains to the back of the engine, and the tow hook is right here. So what we need to do is to put the leveler, and the leveler I don't know what's wrong with me today, but the leveler will go onto the engine crane. And yeah, right now there's only one issue that I'm kind of not 100% sure about. It's not even an issue, but it's something that can make this endeavor slightly harder than I want. Let me bring some light, because I don't think you'll be able to see it. You can see there is a steering column going down, and under it is the engine mount and the bracket that goes to the engine. So by sliding forward, there is no room. It's going to be catching on the column. And I mean, in theory, I suppose I could have disconnected from the steering rack, but another option could be just remove the bracket from the engine and pull the engine up, so this way there's nothing in the way. As you can tell, I don't know if you can, but the gearbox, there is a gap there. Yeah, you can see it. So the gearbox is disconnected. It's relatively straightforward, but this bracket, I think I'll give it a try. Maybe if we can lift that side of the engine a little bit sideways, like so, we can snake it out from, I don't know. We'll see, guys. Yeah, let's just attach the leveler and see how it's going. If it's not going, as I said, we're gonna disconnect the bracket, and hopefully it will make this thing a lot easier. Well, the leveler is not really working here, and I think this is honestly this is probably the best way. It's gonna tilt over here, but not the end of the world. But we definitely need to remove the bracket, because otherwise I don't think it's actually possible to remove it. Let me show you. On the other side, I decided not to remove the AC, so I mean technically, no, not even technically. You can see this engine mount is pushing against the chest leg, so there is no actual room to move it unless we disconnect it and try to swing it this way. I guess that might be an option, but at this time maybe just undoing four bolts on the other side isn't such a bad idea, and probably it will save us some time. It's a bit windy today, but anyways, let's try and get to those bolts. Hopefully they'll come out right off. If not, it's gonna be a struggle. Yeah, there's no real way to get to these bolts from the top. I guess it's doable, but that further one up there is really hard to get to. So there's three, 1, 2, 3, and there's another one on the other side. Not gonna be filming that because it's really awkward and there's not much room in here, so believe me, there are only 4 bolts, and once you're under here you'll know what to do. The bracket is out. As I said, it's a lot easier to remove it from the bottom. There's no way you can, well, I guess you can, but you'll struggle a lot to get it from the top, so the bottom is the way. Yeah, sorry for the wind. I'm actually kind of contemplating removing this bracket as well, so we can just fish the whole thing out. I don't think at this point we're losing anything, and there are a few more bolts just to undo here, and we should be good. Sometimes it's easier to do more work and streamline the whole process later down the road rather than struggling with everything in the way. So I think, yeah, I'm just gonna remove that bracket as well for good measure, and yeah, I hope that the thing will, well, the engine will come right out. Okay, another bracket is out. A success. Now we should have lots of room here. You can see there's only the AC that is kind of like a little bit in the way, but as I said, I don't want to disconnect it entirely. There's nothing holding it on this side. Everything is, let me move this hose out of the way. Looks like it's all good. Yeah, I think it's still attached to that thing. Okay, yeah, final check, everything looks good. I'm a total idiot. I forgot to remove this dust shield from the gearbox, and you can tell that that's the thing that was holding it, all these witness marks around here. So yeah, don't forget to remove this dust shield before pulling out the engine. Not the end of the world, but really annoying. It's just 3 10mm bolts holding it together. I thought that it was actually attached to the engine, but it was on the gearbox side, so the flywheel was catching that dust shield. It didn't want to get out, obviously, so all right, hopefully the third time is the charm. Fingers crossed. Let me show you something. This is why the engine is no longer good. Yeah, the second rod just left the chat, so no bueno, guys, no bueno. But it's almost out. Yeah, the engine bay is huge, but I still don't know why I spent so much time just faffing around with it. I mean, the first time, I guess, everything is a bit new and awkward, so if not for that dust shield, I think it would have been a lot easier to remove. So yeah, don't forget to remove it, otherwise you'll be struggling like myself, because it wasn't sliding out. I was trying everything. I was trying pulling, trying literally everything, and I think the deceiving part of it was like you could see the gearbox just sliding off that much, like about an inch, and like there's nothing that could be in the way, but there was, because it was this dust shield is relatively flexible, and you can bend it. You can tell I bend it quite. This is the end for this episode. Thanks for staying around. I guess on a difficulty level, that's a solid 7 out of 10 if you do it for the first time. Overall, it's not too bad because the engine is relatively small and the engine bay is pretty big. I'd say take it easy, check and double check everything, remove more stuff than you think you need. This way you'll have a lot less things to get in your way, and yeah, I hope you like it. As I said, the next episode is gonna be me just ordering parts, checking what needs replacing, swapping the flywheel onto that engine, removing the loom, swapping the loom. So just prepping everything for the swap. Yeah, hopefully in a video we can drop it in. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but we'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thank you. Bye.